Hey everybody, my name is Eric Murphy, and today I'm going to be outlining the Alertis emergency notification system in a very high level. We're going to be going over who Alertis is, how people often send alerts, and kind of what makes Alertis a little bit different in this space. Then we're going to be touching on some of the common challenges that a lot of our customers face when looking at a system like this. Then we're going to dive into unified mass notification. We're going to explain how it works, talk about layering of emergency alerts. And then lastly, we're going to dive deeper into some, but not all, of Alertis' offerings. We're going to be talking about a lot of our core products during this presentation. So first things first, wanted to quickly touch on who Alertis is as a company. So since 2002, we've kind of established ourselves as the leader in this concept of what's called facility-based emergency notification. So basically, that means that we're going to be notifying the space around individuals of an event rather than sending a text message to their phones or sending an email to their inboxes. So with that being said, a lot of customers, over 2,000 in fact, have chosen to include Alertis into their notification repertoire by adding us to their SMS and their email emergency notification system. One of the reasons that we have become so popular in this space is that we really focus not on complicating the process of emergency notification, but actually by simplifying it as much as we possibly can. So at the end of an Alertis implementation, the customer is going to get what we like to call a single point of activation. So we accomplish that by integrating in with systems that our customers already have, like text messaging and email emergency notification providers, fire alarms, other facility-based notification providers as well, so that at the end of the day, they have one all-encompassing emergency notification system that if something happens, all they have to do is press one button to activate every single thing that's connected to this system. So we're really not trying to reinvent the wheel at any of our customers' facilities. We're just trying to take their existing processes that are working very well for them and streamline those and make them more efficient. So that way, when something does happen, you're not spending 5-10 minutes getting out an alert. You're spending 15 or 20 seconds sending that notification out. So that's where we like to begin. And one of the ways we do that is actually by incorporating what's called a layered approach to emergency mass notification. Now, this is recommended by the NFPA 72 standard. So what this means is that there's basically 4 layers that we like to accomplish. The first is for your facility-based emergency notification solutions. So these aren't going to have to rely on someone being on a computer at their desk. They're not going to have to rely on even whether or not that the person that we're notifying works or attends school at the building. These are things like integrations in with your fire panels, integrations in with public address systems, LED marquees, the alert beacon, which I'm going to touch on a little bit later here. And utilizing this layer or this approach will help us and help you make sure that everyone's notified regardless of whether or not they're an employee or a student. If they're a visitor, they're going to get notified with these facility-based notification solutions. Next, we like to go and target endpoints based on enterprise and your network. So what this means is that we're going to be able to override a lot of the technology that you have. So digital signs, IP speakers, VoIP phones, desktop alerts, those things where, likely people that are employed or, are a student at the organization are going to be using, we're going to get a notification to them. So that way, in addition to the alert beacons and in addition to the PA integration, they're also going to get a message on their computer, get a message on their phone telling them the exact same thing. That's just going to hit home a lot faster that something serious is occurring. And then from there, they can take whatever actions necessary for that specific situation. So next, we're going to move outdoors. Obviously, your employees, your students, any visitors that you might have, that are in between buildings or maybe in the quad on your campus, they're important too, and you need to notify them if a situation is occurring. So with this, we're either going to rely on our own high-powered speaker array solutions, or if you already have some type of giant voice or some type of loudspeaker solution outdoors, we can integrate in with that as well. But lastly, we're going to integrate in with the mobile phones using either existing SMS and emailing providers, or utilizing our recipient mobile app just to deliver a notification onto everyone's smartphone, letting them know of a situation that's occurring. And again, this is all going to be the exact same alert, from what's being broadcast over the outdoor speakers to what's being displayed on the computers to what's coming over the PA systems inside. They're all going to be one unified message, which again is going to help people take this situation a little bit more seriously. If you have, 4 alerts coming at you saying the same thing, that's going to hit home a lot faster that something serious is happening, rather than just, getting a text on your phone or, hearing something over the PA system. So when we work with our customers, or when clients initially come to us, a lot of times they come to us with a lot of challenges, which we can solve. So one of the biggest challenges that we see is the multiple buildings or locations, either in a small area, maybe within one city block, or moving up to some of our biggest customers globally. A lot of people want to just pinpoint the exact location to where that alert's happening, let those individuals know without having to let an office 20 miles away know that there's a bomb threat at a certain site. So a lot of people struggle with how to segment the alerts based on locations. They also struggle with just having a lot of systems to activate. If you start adding 2 or 3 different emergency notification systems to your workflow, it takes a lot of time to send this notification out, sometimes up to 5-10 minutes. And in a real emergency situation, 5-10 minutes isn't something that you have. You need to be able to get that emergency notification out very, very quickly. So a lot of people struggle with, how to simplify that process, and how to just make things easy for their staff to send out these notifications. No way of notifying all locations is another common one. And here I mean, maybe you have a gymnasium, or maybe you have an area in one of your buildings that really just doesn't get great cell phone reception. A lot of people struggle with how to notify people in those spaces if they're just looking at, traditional means of notification. Large employee or student headcounts, another one that often comes into play because if you're sending out, 10,000 text messages, 10,000 emails, sometimes that takes a lot of time. Whereas, with a system like Alertus, you're going to be able to notify the space around them. So we tend to get quicker notification response times from everything. Cell phones not being allowed is another one that's very, very common. And this is going to stem from, students not being able to have their cell phones in classes. Maybe, you have a secure area where you don't want people bringing outside devices in. All that's great from, a security standpoint and to, stop any confidential information from getting out, but it also hurts our capability of notifying in those areas if you are just relying on those cell phones for emergency notification. So that's where some of the additional layers that we were talking about can come into play there. So one of the ways that we like to push Alertus out when we first get to a customer site is by integrating in with their existing infrastructure, integrating in with their existing assets. And from this screen here, you can see that we do integrate in with a lot of technology that's out there, from desktop computers to Chromebooks to fire alarm panels, VoIP phones, you name it. There's very possible that there's an integration possibility there. So if you have something that you want to potentially look at integrating with, reach out to your Alertus sales manager, and we'll take you through the right steps to figure out if that system is possible to tie into Alertus. But a lot of integration capabilities are out there, and on this screen are some of the more common ones that we do. So as far as notification endpoints go, I'm going to take you through some of the more common emergency notification endpoints that customers often put in. By no means is this a definitive presentation. There's a lot of different things that Alertus can offer. So if you see something on the slide here that I don't get to, feel free to reach out to Alertus, and we'll be happy to kind of go over the solutions in a little bit more detail for you. But one of our core offerings and one really effective method of notification in these indoor areas is from our alert beacon. So this is a device that's going to reside on your network. It connects either over PoE or Wi-Fi. But what's great about this is it flashes bright LED lights and makes a loud tone to capture attention. So it's not going to matter if, the person that is receiving this alert is registered into any kind of email list. It's not going to matter if they're at their desk or not. If they're in the area that this alert beacon is going off in, they're going to notice that, this device on the wall is being activated. And then all they have to do is walk up to the screen and read it. And from there, they're going to know exactly what's in the know. So very common places for this alert beacon are lobbies, busy hallways, fitness centers. Think anywhere where you have individuals who might not be paying attention to their computer, might not be paying attention to their phone, or are a visitor at your organization. That's going to be a great spot for this alert beacon because, again, it's not going to matter whether or not there's any type of existing infrastructure there. You're going to get the message if you're in that area, and all you have to do is walk up to the screen and read it. So it's a very, very effective way of notification there. As far as audible notification goes, a lot of organizations like to incorporate some type of text-to-speech message in with the visual notifications that are going out. So a lot of people choose to do this with our IP text-to-speech self-amplified speaker. So this is going to take the same message that's on your alert beacon and convert it into speech that you and I are going to be able to understand. Now, this version that you see here is our own speaker form factor that is going to be put in key locations where you might not have any type of existing PA systems or any type of existing speakers in place. But if you do have a PA system already in place at your organization, we can integrate into that using the same technology that's in that speaker that I just showed you. But instead of deploying this, in our own speakers, we can actually attach it to your speakers. A few different methods, but a line level audio inputs is the most common way of doing this. So again, with that, we're going to take in all of the speakers that you have, and the message that gets sent out is going to be in unison with all of the rest of the Alertis endpoints that are being activated. So, if you are walking through that hallway, if for whatever reason you're not in an area that, has an alert beacon, you can still get this message audibly rather than having that visual notification. So again, just trying to incorporate as many layers as possible into this alert when it gets sent out. So I'm not going to touch on the rest of this, but like I was saying, if you do want to learn more about digital signage override or our LED marquees or even our fire alarm interface, reach out to an Alertus sales rep and we'll be happy to kind of talk through that with you in a little bit more detail. So as far as the outdoor notification portion of this is concerned, our high-powered speaker arrays are a very effective way of getting this notification to any type of large outdoor area. Now, this is more of a customized solution, meaning we're actually going to take into consideration, the areas that you want covered, the local environmental factors, so whether or not there's a lot of trees or a lot of buildings, and actually build a custom solution for you. But at the end of the day, what this is going to allow you to have is notification throughout the entire outdoor area that you're responsible for. Now, this can either broadcast that same text-to-speech message that I was talking about in the previous slides, or with our CCU module, you can actually do live voice on this too. So you can pick up a microphone, speak into it, and actually, let everyone know with live voice of what's happening. So a lot of times this high-powered speaker array solution is a static installation, meaning, we put it on a roof, we put it on a pole, it doesn't move from there. However, if you do have a need for outdoor notification in a mobile manner, we do have a solution for that as well with our mobile high-powered speaker array solution. So this is essentially just a high-powered speaker array on a trailer that you can tow to areas that might be affected by emergencies. So let's say you have a train derailment that's, holding a bunch of chemicals, and you want to go notify that area that, there's a chemical spill and to avoid, a certain perimeter. You can roll up this high-powered speaker array, deploy it, and then just talk through the CCU and let everyone in that immediate area know of the situation that's occurring. So you don't necessarily have to have existing speakers in that area if you're using this mobile high-powered speaker array, because then again you can just tow that, and from there you'll get that notification. Next, I wanted to talk or touch on the personal notification, or layer 3 of what we discussed before. So one of the most common ways that people get notified on their personal devices is actually on their computer. A lot of the workforce nowadays is in front of a computer, doing whatever job they need to do. But most of the time, people are using a computer at some point throughout the day. So by integrating in with that computer system, it makes a notification to that very effective. So we have a couple of different options for the desktop notification on your computers. The full screen takeover, like you see in the upper left-hand picture there, is really effective and really good for your very urgent scenarios. So let's say, like you see here, we have an active shooter alert or a bomb threat alert. Maybe there's an intruder lockdown. Basically think any scenario that you have to capture people's attention immediately and convey information to them. That's where you're going to want to use your full screen takeover, because it's impossible to miss. It's going to override the full computer screen, so it's going to interrupt whatever you're doing. Then from there, all you have to do is read the alert on the screen, and you're going to be in the know. If you have situations that might not warrant a full screen takeover, but you still want to get the information out, or maybe you want to display some type of media. For instance, if there is a suspicious person or an intruder on your campus and you want to attach an image of that person and send it out to all the computers, so everyone that's working at that computer is going to know what this person looks like and to contact the police if they see him or her. You can actually do that with the partial screen alert. So it is our most customizable version of the full screen of the desktop override. And from this, you're going to be able to add video files, sound files, pictures, choose how big you want it to appear on the screen, as well as choose the color set. So you can really make this alert your own, brand it to your company, brand it to your school. If you want to put pictures on there or videos based on the situation at hand, you can do that as well. But lastly, I wanted to discuss the scrolling ticker alert. So this is the image that's in the bottom of the screen here. But what this is going to allow you to do is broadcast. Maybe you're just more informational emergency alerts. So there's a water main that broke and you're going to have to evacuate a certain building. There is a snowstorm coming in and you have to shut the office down early. Those are things that are still important for people to know, but they don't necessarily warrant a full screen override or even a partial screen alert. So using this scrolling ticker mode, you're not going to override as much of the screen as you would with the other two modalities, but you're still going to get information to people in a very low-key manner where they can still keep working while they receive this information. So in addition to the desktop notification, a lot of companies often choose to deploy our mobile app suite in their organization. So I'm going to touch on the activator a little bit later here, but this recipient app is really effective method of getting a notification to a user's smartphone. So this is going to come to the smartphone either via Wi-Fi signal or via cellular data, because it is a push notification. So a lot of times that does come quicker than a standard SMS message. But with this, you're going to get obviously the alert on your lock screen. From there, you can choose to open up that alert and view it in a little bit more detail. But with this app, you're actually able to quickly contact the police, quickly contact public safety. Basically, whoever is responsible for safety and security at your organization, you can configure this app to contact them. So if someone is maybe walking through a parking lot and they have a situation that they need to let someone know they need assistance, they can either quickly call a predetermined number through this yellow contact button, or they can request an incident giving one of the 6 preloaded scenarios that you see in the bottom of the image on the left-hand side there. And then from there, that's going to go to, like I was saying, whoever's responsible for safety, whoever's responsible for security. And then that team's going to have all the information that they need from, a picture of what's happening if you want to submit a picture, a description if you want to type that in as well. But at the very least, they're going to have a location of what's going on and a location of where this alert was sent from. So that way they can direct the resources to the appropriate area without having to go through a lengthy process of figuring out where that emergency notification integrated from. So in addition to all that, we can also tie in with third-party vendors. Rave Mobile Safety, Everbridge, Regroup are just a few of them. So if there is interest in sending out SMS notifications and emails at the same time you activate Alertus, contact your Alertus sales rep, and we'll be able to tell you whether or not we can integrate in with the specific company that you use for your personal notification. So lastly, I wanted to touch on some of the more public methods that we use for just general information or letting people know that there is a situation at your campus or within the immediate area. Social media is a big one. Updating Twitter, updating Facebook when an emergency alert is active. With Alertis, you can actually do that automatically, so there's no need for your marketing department, no need for whoever controls your social media to go and type in or type out a new post. We can do that automatically, as well as we can do a lot of things with our RSS and CAP feeds. So if there is a more public method of notification that you currently use, let us know with the API that we have with our RSS and CAP technology. A lot of times we're able to integrate in with those. But again, just ask your Alertus sales rep and they'll be able to assist you further in kind of figuring out what's possible there. So as far as activation goes, I wanted to walk you through some of the more common methods of activating. I'll touch on the Alertus web console here in a second, but a lot of individuals are choosing to use these duress buttons in their dispatch centers, in their emergency operations centers, because this essentially gives you the easy button for activation into Alertus. So with this, all you have to do if you need to send out an alert is push the button, and from there, that'll initiate the sequence of events in the Alertus server to activate whatever preset alert that you have just chosen to send out. But each one of these buttons are color-coded. They have preset alerts assigned to them and configured to them. So that way, if an event happens that corresponds with the preset alert on the button, all you have to do is walk up and press it. And like I was saying, from there, it'll activate your system. Within about 15-20 seconds is the average time that we like to aim for, but you can configure that to be as fast or as slow as you want. But 15-20 seconds is kind of the average there. So a lot of people or a lot of emergency managers or safety professionals aren't necessarily near a desk all day, or maybe you don't have your own dispatch center that can activate an alert if something comes in. We actually give you the capability to send a notification out on the fly if you want to, using our Alertus Activator app. So this app will be pre-configured with all of the preset alerts that you set up in Alertus, and then from there you're gonna have access to every single preset alert that you have set up. So if you need to do an intruder lockdown, or if you need to evacuate a building for a bomb threat, you don't have to rush back to a computer to log into any system to activate. All you have to do is pull out your smartphone, open up the app. You can scan in with your biometric ID or your passcode if you enable it. But all you have to do is select the preset that you want. It'll give you a summary of what's going to happen. And then when you hit activate, that alert's going to be active in, again, that 15-20 second time frame. So I'll actually show you all just a quick demo video of what this notification looks like when it is activated. And in doing this, I am going to do it from my Alertus web console. So with this, I'll just log in using my credentials here. And then from there, when you get into the Alertus console, there's going to be a couple of options for activating. Preset activation are things that you want to be prepared for, so you'll actually pre-configure them ahead of time. But if something's happening that you didn't build out a preset alert for, you can always custom activate this solution using the custom activation section. But for the sake of this demo, I'm going to send out a preset alert here. And let's do an evacuation order for this demo. So when I hit continue here, you're going to see that I'm going to get a summary of exactly what's going to happen when I send this alert out. So you can see here, 4 alert beacons are going to be activated, there's one Alertis desktop that's going to be activated, one IP text-to-speech speaker, so on and so forth. So I'll hit send on this, and then I will pop over here to my demo environment at our headquarters, and you all can actually see what this all looks and sounds like. All right, so as you can see there, the desktop was overridden. The digital signage is overridden as well. And then the alert beacons you can actually see blinking with the green alert there. So let me go ahead and cancel this alert, and then from there we can finish it out. But it was just a very high-level overview of Alertus's core offerings, but there is a lot more that we can do. So if you do have a system that you're interested in leveraging with an Alertis emergency notification system, feel free to reach out to an Alertis representative. Likewise, if you see anything on this screen here that I didn't touch on today, feel free to reach out to us, and we can schedule a more in-depth conversation based on your specific needs and the specific needs of your organization. But that's about all I had. Thanks for the time, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video.